We begin this introductory lesson to self-knowledge emphasizing a central idea of ancient philosophy. If we do not find what we seek within ourselves, we can never find it outside. Socrates wisely affirmed, "Only knowledge that comes from within is true knowledge." The word gnosis is of Greek origin and means knowledge, but the Greek language has a distinction between two kinds of knowledge. First, the rational knowledge, or coming from the intellect, knowledge about mathematics, knowledge about history, knowledge about chemistry, etc. The second is the gnosis, which in this context is the knowledge in itself, the perfect knowledge, the knowledge of the truth. Gnosis explains that within the human being are tremendous possibilities that can be developed, and the task proposed by these teachings is to provide everything necessary to achieve this inner development. We can say that Gnosis is a transcendental knowledge of man and the universe, a transformative wisdom that teaches us to see and verify those things that up to this moment were described as great mysteries and enigmas. It is a true scientific school of initiation in life, which pursues a transformation of the human being and which seeks that each person profoundly changes to achieve the harmonious development of all the infinite human possibilities. Our true identity. One of the principles that characterizes the Gnosis of all ages is the affirmation that all humans are born with an immortal divine spark that we can discover through our own self-knowledge. In fact, the word Gnosis means self-knowledge or knowledge of oneself, since it is not about looking for something that you do not already possess, but to discover all that you already have been born with. The goal of Gnosticism is to give true human or spiritual foundation to the human being. When deeply analyzed, the modern human is no more than a sum of capricious and energetic entities constantly fighting among themselves without any objectivity. The conscience, as we call it in these studies, plays a fundamental role in our awakening. This consciousness is the expression of the eternal divine spark that lives within us. Unfortunately, much of the consciousness we possess is trapped within the diverse psychological elements that also live within. We call these elements psychic aggregates in our studies. The doctrine of the I and the doctrine of the heart. There are two kinds of doctrines when it comes to the search for wisdom: the doctrine of the I and the doctrine of the heart. The doctrine of the I is based on the mind. The mind thinks, reasons, draws conclusions, and leads to wrong action many times when it does not take into account the presence and expression of our conscience. The doctrine of the I is constituted by what we learn from the outside world and has its foundation in observation, in the five senses, and the reasoning. The doctrine of the heart is constituted by a series of very deep inner experiences that have their foundation in the consciousness and the intimate reflection that can be understood as intuition. It is knowledge that cannot be transmitted verbally or in writing. This is why it is known as hidden or secret knowledge. Gnosis is an objective knowledge, which does not depend on points of views nor on traditions. It is a very intimate, natural, and profound process that leads us to cultivate the doctrine of the heart. The 4 pillars of Gnosis. Science, art, philosophy, and religion are the 4 basic columns of Gnosis. Although it may seem surprising, there are no contradictions among them. On the contrary, they complement each other. It is through these 4 manifestations of wisdom that universal knowledge has been expressed throughout time and in different civilizations. For this reason, we say that Gnosis is a highly scientific wisdom, profoundly philosophical, exquisitely artistic, and extraordinarily mystical. We can affirm that a self-realized man is one who has developed within himself these 4 pillars and become whole and complete. What is self-knowledge? Self-knowledge is an introspective process that gradually allows us to become aware of everything that happens in our inner world. The human being has traveled outside of our planet, explored the depths of the seas and the lands. Through technology, we know a small part of the incredible functions of our body, but yet there is still so much mystery. The mystery of the interior man. Man remains, even to this day, the mystery of mysteries. Gnosis is the knowledge of the path that leads us to the transcendent, but we can only reach that state if we realize that we are, in a small way, the whole world itself. Man is a microcosmos where all the powers and substances of the macrocosms exist. It is composed of matter, but it also contains the living divine spirit, or logos as we call it, that gives us intelligence and the very meaning of our existence. Learning about ourselves is an incredible journey towards our full potential, our happiness, and our fulfillment.